Phoenix here. Welcome to the Mind Mysteries podcast. Now, this is an introduction before we get into the first episode. I just wanted to give you an overview of what this podcast is going to be about. So this podcast is for busy people who want to learn faster and discover the amazing things your brain can do for you. So in this podcast, we're going to talk about different ways of upgrading your brain to learn faster, improve your creativity, brain health, and how to rewire your brain to get more things done. So this is the place to learn how powerful your brain really is. So I hope that this podcast gives you a lot of value, and I hope that if you do find it valuable, to please share it with others so that we can make brain training accessible to all. So once again, my name is Phoenix, and I want to begin this journey by sharing with you a story. So this story is going to continue throughout the podcast, and this story is the perfect way to explain the core of what we do here. We're here to learn about learning. These are things that we've never really been taught in school. And we want to learn so that we can adapt to anything the world throws at us. Because the world is changing at the speed of light, and we want to become better adaptionists. That is, people that can adapt to anything because they can rely on their creativity and their ability to learn faster. So you're going to learn how to become unstoppable. So let's get started with this podcast and dive into this story. Are you ready? Let's begin. A journey across time. A long time ago, in a place far away, there was a small farming village. And in this village, there was a small boy. He became known as the Little Magi. He was brave, selfless, thoughtful, wise, and observant. The Little Magi did not know much about his inner gifts. As he grew older, he found that he could see people's problems for what they were. Often people would come to him complaining, speaking of their troubles, and he would simply say, "Well, your problem is actually this." Or he would say, "Why don't you do that?" The villagers would be amazed at the wisdom of such a child. The child had no mother or father to speak of. No one really quite knew exactly where he came from, and nobody knew his true name. He was simply called the Little Magi. He was raised by an old woman in the village, a wise librarian, keeper of the books in that village. She always encouraged the little one to read all sorts of books, from potions to medicine, from sailing to anatomy, even the secrets of the stars, anything he could find. She also spoke great things to the little one, for he had an immense appetite to learn and had limitless curiosity. He was very much like them. She allowed the little one to learn and grow. They would come to him. It wasn't long before the little one realized that he was not like the other villagers. And he would solve it for them. He would always find the answer. But over time, the Little Magi would begin to wonder, why are so many people coming to me with their problems? Why don't they just solve it for themselves? One day, he was talking to the old woman, and he said, "Something bothers me. Surely these people are smart. Surely they could learn and have the abilities to make changes for themselves. So why don't they do it just for themselves? Is there anything I could do that would help them help themselves? If I only knew magic, I can change their lives. cure them from their problems. And the old woman said, I knew this day would come. You're no longer a child. It is time for you to leave the village, my little magi. It is time for you to seek the old magician. For only the old magician can help you now. The questions you are asking are different than that of a child. The answers you are seeking cannot be found in this village, and it can no longer be found in learning more information. It can no longer be found in these books. No amount of information can help you now, my little magi. You need to look for wisdom. That which you desire to become, you need to become that, but somewhere else. But where could I find this magician? Said the little boy. Where could I find the wisdom? How can I teach myself to find what I'm looking for? The old woman looked into his eyes and gently said, You need to leave the village, my little magi. But I've always grown up in this village. This is all I know, said the little boy. This is my home. I've always lived here. This is all I've known. So where do you expect me to go? And the old woman said, You will find the old magician in the great forest of Omnis Partis. The little magi got startled and said, But that is the forest of all directions. How could I know where I need to go? How would I find him? The old woman smiled and said, Go inside. You will know the way. Go inside and seek the old magician. You'll know the way. Go now. The little magi did not want to go, but he knew he would not be happy if he did not find the answers he was looking for. And so the little magi left the village. He left that which he knew, and he went out into the great forest of many directions. So many great trees, so many great animals, and many opportunities, choices, and so many great adventures in the great forest. But the forest changed people. It is said that this is the original home of the shapeshifter. The little boy had read tales of this forest and was afraid of never finding his way, or worse yet, to change to someone he did not want to be. The boy turned left and started slowly becoming someone else. He turned right and started becoming someone else. He went this way, he went that way. He often went to the previous path. He tried to find easier routes in the forest, but they got him to places he did not really want to be. One day, he went so deep into the forest that all of a sudden, ahead of him, he saw smoke coming out of the trees beside the road. He saw ahead of him a small house with a garden. He saw an outdoor oven with smoke coming out of it. He looked around and in the distance saw the back of an old man that seemed to be working in the garden. He wasn't sure whether this was the old magician or not, so he thought, I'll go up and ask. So he went up behind the old man, and before he could say anything, the old man said, Welcome. I have been expecting you. And the little one was a little bit surprised. The old man said, Why have you come here? And the little one was a little hesitant and said, I have come because I was told that I can find wisdom here. I was told that you would teach me the ways of magic. The old man stopped tending the garden for a moment. He then looked at the boy as if he could see right through him, as if he could see his true nature. And in that moment, the little boy realized this must be the old magician. Who else could it be? So he approached the old man and he asked, "Are you the old magician?" "Perhaps. Is there something you're seeking?" said the old man. "Yes. I want to learn the ways of magic." "Can you help me find what I'm looking for?" said the boy. "It will depend. I don't guarantee anything," said the old man. "Depend on what?" said the little one. "Well, that will depend on 4 things. The old man said, if you would have learned the ways of magic, it will really depend on 4 things. First is the purity of your intent. Second is the focus of your will. Third, it is the level of your awareness. And fourth, it is the quality of your character. The little boy looked at him and said, "I think I can do that. But there's a price to pay if you're going to learn the ways of magic," said the old man. "Are you willing to pay the price?" And the little magi said, "I don't have any money. I'm from a poor village. I help people, but I've never asked them to pay me. I have nothing, but whatever I do have, I'll give to you." The old man said, "It is not money I want. That is not the price that a magi pays. The price you must pay to learn the ways of magic is that you must tell me your true name." You see, your true name is one of the most prized secrets of all magi. For all magi recognize that your true name is not just the name people call you. Your true name is the vibration of your essence, your very being. It is the sound of which you resonate to. It is the sound of which, when called, you must respond because it is you. So all things have a true name, whether it is the trees, the birds, the rocks, the wind, the sea, they all have a true name. If you know the vibration, which is their very source of being, you can command all that is. In the right hands, your true name will be a calling to you to become your true nature. So tell me, what is your true name? And so the little magi thought, and he finally said, "I don't know my real name. All my life, I've simply been called a little magi. But I know what sometimes people call me. Sometimes they call me a healer. Sometimes I've been called a helper. And other times, I've been called a good friend. They call me many things, but I do not know what I call myself." So the old magician took a deep breath in and said, "Then we will have to find your true name. Until then, it will do to simply remember the magician's code. It is a creed we live by. It is a creed that as long as you follow, you will eventually remember your true name. And when you find it, great magic will be available to you. So for now, to learn the ways of magic, just repeat the magician's code, and you can repeat after me. I seek to know in order to serve. I seek to know in order to serve. I seek to know in order to serve." Welcome to Mind Mysteries. See you in the first episode.